What's really going on with the naval exercises off South Africa's coast? Why is President Cyril Ramaphosa's government in hot water, and is China being blamed for it? In this video, we break down the False Bay naval drill controversy, explore why Iran was involved, and unpack the political fallout both locally and internationally. Like, share, comment, and subscribe if you want more updates on global politics and African leadership. The naval exercise, called Will for Peace 2026, was a multinational maritime drill held in False Bay, near Cape Town earlier this month. It was part of a broader BRICS Plus initiative, an expanded version of the BRICS group, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, that now includes additional countries such as Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and others. TheJakartApost.com. The exercise was hosted in South African waters and officially led by China, with participation from Russia, the United Arab Emirates, and Iran. The stated aim of the drills was to enhance maritime cooperation, search and rescue skills, and naval interoperability among emerging powers. TheJakartApost.com. The big issue? Iranian warships reportedly took active part in the drills. South Africa's presidency says this shouldn't have happened. President Cyril Ramaphosa's office insists that South Africa did not invite Iran and went further to blame China for managing the participant invitations. The Citizen. Ramaphosa allegedly gave instructions to Defense Minister Angie Motshekga that Iran should be limited to observer status only, not active participation, but despite this, the Iranian vessels, including the Iran's Nagdi, Iran's Mukrin, and Iris Shahid Madavi, ended up engaging in parts of the exercise. Central News. This fueled a political firestorm both at home and abroad. Iran's military is seen very differently on the global stage compared with a country like South Africa. Iran is under heavy international scrutiny due to widespread human rights concerns and its government's violent crackdowns on protest movements. The Citizen. Its navy, particularly when operating actively rather than observing, is not just symbolic, it's a political statement, especially in the eyes of Western governments. Iran's involvement raised alarm bells with the United States, whose embassy in Pretoria called it particularly unconscionable that Iranian security forces were welcomed given their domestic human rights record. The Citizen. So, while the drills were billed as cooperative and apolitical, Iran's presence turned them into a simmering diplomatic flashpoint. According to South African officials, China handled invitations to participating countries, not South Africa. The presidency stressed that China was the lead organizer and invitations were managed by Beijing. The Citizen. President Ramaphosa did issue a directive for Iran to step down to observer status, but this reportedly was not followed or was misrepresented in the chain of command. The Citizen. Defense Minister Motshekga set up a board of inquiry to determine why the instruction might have been ignored or misunderstood within the defense forces. The board has a tight deadline of 7 days to report findings. The Citizen. South Africa emphasizes that it only permitted its waters to be used. It did not select the participants itself. The Citizen. This combination of blaming China, pointing fingers at internal miscommunication, and launching an inquiry has put the spotlight on how foreign policy decisions are actually implemented within South Africa. One of the lasting questions from this controversy: did the South African National Defense Force, SANDF, defy a presidential order? There are public reports suggesting possible mixed messaging within government ranks. Defense officials insist Ramaphosa's instructions were communicated clearly, yet evidence of Iranian ships participating suggests a breakdown occurred somewhere. Diamond Field's advertiser. Critics are raising deeper questions. Was there insubordination within the SANDF? Were proper diplomatic channels followed? Are presidential directives taken seriously within the defense hierarchy? These are not just procedural issues, they have serious implications for governance and accountability. The U.S. response was swift and critical. Foreign governments, especially Washington, expressed concern that South Africa facilitating active participation by Iranian warships undermines Pretoria's stated foreign policy of neutrality and could strain diplomatic ties further. AP News. This comes at a time when South Africa's relationship with the United States is already under pressure due to disagreements on other international issues. The drills, many analysts argue, worsened perceptions that South Africa is aligning more closely with China and its allies than with traditional Western partners. The controversy could lead to tighter scrutiny of military transparency, political fallout inside South Africa, especially among parties critical of cooperation with Iran or China. Economic impacts if South Africa's relationships with partners like the United States continue to deteriorate. Foreign policy reevaluation on how South Africa engages with BRICS and BRICS Plus structures. Some analysts see this affair as a test of South Africa's ability to maintain a non-aligned stance in a polarized world. 1. South Africa says it didn't invite Iran, China did. This shift in responsibility reflects the realities of multilateral exercises, but it also opens political vulnerabilities. The citizen. 2. President Ramaphosa allegedly wanted Iran to be observers. Yet, Iranian warships ended up participating, triggering anger from both domestic and foreign critics. Diamond Field's advertiser. 3. A formal inquiry is underway. This could reveal whether orders were ignored or misunderstood, and show where accountability truly lies. News 24. 4. The U.S. and other global powers are watching. South Africa risks being seen as partisan rather than neutral, a big deal in international diplomacy. AP News. If you found this breakdown helpful and want more updates on global politics, current affairs, and international news, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and comment below with your thoughts. Do you think South Africa is right to distance itself from blame, or should leaders take full responsibility? What does this mean for SA's place on the world stage? Drop your comments. Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. You. Ba. Ba. Ba.